Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to another episode of our Prison Escapes Beginnings Let's Play. So, in today's episode, I've got pages full of things on the lectern there, and we're gonna just get right into it. We are getting close to our quantum computer core, but we're gonna have to make polonium. That means mechanism, nuclear waste. Yeah, so without further ado, let's get into it. Alrighty, so on the list, ender chests for mob farms. That was what we were going to do, to line these up somewhere and get them on an import bus without having to bring channels over. I think we got some of the ender chests from like a quest reward or something, but maybe not. Let's see. What do they take? Ender chest. So they take this. Cool. We're going to need a couple of them. And then we need some blue wool, couple of pieces. And then that should, yeah, there we go. All right. That'll give us some ender chests. So what we can do with these is now I can pull the blaze one. Oh boy. Let's turn on the pickup thing. Yeah. And then we can put all this in there. And now we can bring it right down here. We can put our blaze card back in it. We can tell it we don't want the tomes. So blaze card, blacklist the tomes, add in our upgrades, and we'll get that going. And now what I want to do is I want to grab some item pipes. And then we're going to take these item pipes and we're going to go like that. And we're going to put an ender chest right here. Now, these ender chests, you can set the frequency on them with dye. So let's make this one purple. I think I'm going to need one more piece of purple dye to dye all of them, or I can just do like some stripes. Okay, so here's what we'll do. We're going to do purple, white, purple. So shift, right click on the stripe you want to change. And now the frequency for that one is purple, white, purple. The downside is we had sucked a bunch of items out maybe into here. Nope, not yet. Okay, so what we want to do with this one is we want to get it somewhere on the network, and we want to put it on an import bus. So if I were to just, I don't know, put it right here, and since there's nothing in it, let's get it on our same frequency, purple, white, purple. And then now let's go wrench on the other end of this. So if we wrench these to pull items out, we're going to start seeing those items flow into this ender chest. They're not going anywhere yet, but they are flowing into that ender chest. What we want to do is get those items into our storage. And that's how we're going to do it, is with an import bus. So if we go to import, we've got import bus. Let's make it an extended one. I don't know that they're any faster, but we got the option and I added the pattern. Let's put some acceleration cards in here so it can keep up. 3 should be more than enough. And then we need some cable. So we'll grab some smart cable. We'll come over. We will put the import bus on it. We will put the acceleration cards in it. And now, as you see, all of our mob drops from these farms are being pulled out and they're being put over into storage. So now we have all of that stuff being brought into our storage system, and we don't have to worry about going and emptying it every now and then. That has been something we've needed to do for a while, and now it's finally done. Quick, simple, and it's easy to mark something off the list, showing you guys what we do to automate stuff. So let's take that one out of here. Now, I want to make the master infusion crystal for mystical agriculture. This right here. However, because people like to point it out, it's here, but you can also buy it in the marketplace for 5, I think it's 5 iron coins, or is it 3 iron coins? Let's go look. 8 iron coins. So got a pretty hefty price tag. So we don't necessarily need to buy it, though. If we go into the Precacia portal and we head towards our land mass, which I wish we'd put a waystone down over there, but we didn't, we're going to need to do some mining here. So give me a minute to swim on over and find some mines, and we're going to be looking for baronite ore, which I don't know where it's found. I don't know any of the requirements. I just know that we need it, and this is the dimension that it says it's found in. So I'm going to get over here and get us to where we can start mining for it, and I'll bring you back once I find it. Well, guys, I did some reading, trying to figure out where the stuff is, and I think we have to take our portal and make it go somewhere different. And it looks like we can buy the rune here. These dimensions are still in development. Check your mod pack before buying. So for 1 gold coin, we need Barathos Realmstone, because that's where Baronite is. So we need a gold coin, which we have 1 of. And then if we were to buy that, we get a different realm stone. Now, the way I understand it is I just click it here. The dimension's not ready yet. Still in development. What? Well, how am I supposed to craft it? I guess we're not supposed to craft it, and I just wasted my gold coin. Let's just go buy this thing. 8 iron. Hopefully we still have it. Coins. Yep, we've got exactly 8 iron. We bought a realm stone thing for nothing. Let's get our master infusion crystal and move on. I really wanted to craft it. I like crafting things rather than buying things. Buying things just feels kind of cheesy, you know, when you have, you know, like I feel like there should be a way for me to like not have to use the marketplace. But if it's how they design the pack, it's how they design the pack. All right, so master infusion crystal. The reason we wanted it, let's put up this useless stone. And our other drops, torches in the backpack, food in the backpack. The reason we want this is now we can do something, some kind of way to craft our way up. Now we're going to need more than one of these if we want to do it like the traditional way, but we can start by like making patterns if we wanted to. But the difference is if we look at the infusion crystal we have here, it's only got 110 uses left. So I can make this one die in just a brief moment by taking our inferium. And we won't even convert all of it before it dies. There you go. It's done. But now this one, it never dies. So we can sit here, or we can have the system sit here, and we can tell it to craft away on all of these inferium essences and stack them up for us, or to craft a certain number of each one with a block like the ME Requestor. So, ME Requestor was one of the things I kind of wanted to get into today. And this should, if I remember how it works, let's see. It should allow us to tell it, hey, we want you to keep let's go in essence. And then if we go to, let's say, Supremium Essence, right? Which we don't have a pattern for, so we can't drop that in there. But we do need a pattern for it. And we're going to tell it, oh, we're going to have to give me a second, I got to put another autocraft setup together. Alrighty, got us some patterns made up, added another molecular assembler. Up there, I've got everything on the extended, the extended molecular assemblers or whatever for the pattern providers. So they've got more crafting threads. We made a secondary computer in between episodes. We did a bunch of stuff. I'll try and show you guys as we move around the base. But now with the ME Requestor, now that there's a pattern, I should be able to tell it like Supremium, right? Is that not how this works? Thought that was how this works. Amount to stock. We want, let's say 64, like a stack. And batch size, do them one at a time, submit the changes. Do I need like a pattern? Is it wanting me to put a pattern? I thought I could just put it in there. Let's see. There we go. It doesn't let me drag it, but I can use it from an inventory slot. It doesn't hold them for some reason, but it does allow us to set them. So now we're going to put in a pattern for each of the things. We're going to tell it that we want it to keep a minimum of 64 of each of these with a batch size of 1. And let's make sure we've got all the essences, right? Essence. So Supremium, Imperium, Tertium. And then right now I have these turned off because I want to put what we have back in the system. I don't want it to like be trying to make them. And then we're going to tell it to keep at least 64 of these. Check it. And then now if we put this stuff back in and we come back in here, we should be able to toggle these on and it should run. But there we go. There's a problem. Let's see. Left shift. Missing ingredients. Okay. What ingredients are you missing? What about now? There we go. So since we set it on batch size 1, it will do them one at a time. If you set the batch size higher, it's going to want more than one of those master infusion crystals, because right now what it's doing is it's literally making one at a time. But if we tell it to make more than that, it will need more than one of the master infusion crystals, because it thinks that it is consumed, I do believe, on the pattern. But as you can see right now, it's crafting through all of those with no problem. And what will eventually happen is if we come look at essences, each of these we can craft as it goes through. Right now we're working on Supremium. It will keep 64 of each. Now when we're done, I want to add Insanium in there too and get it going, but I want it to get all of these crafted up first so that we've got plenty of each tier of essence, and that will help us as we are continuing to make more and more seeds to grow more resources. So this is the ME Requestor. You can use it to keep just about anything in stock that you have patterns for. One of the other things that I'd really like to add in here so we don't run out is if we look at templates, I would like for there to never be any less than a stack of the netherite upgrade templates in stock at any given point. And so we're going to add that and toggle that request on as well. We can toss this back, and now we should watch it craft its way up to those. Oh wait, it can't craft its way up to them because we don't have a pattern in here for those. So template, we got to add that pattern. Template, smithing template, there we go. And then once we put this pattern in, it will start to try and craft up the templates. Here we go. We should see it happen any second now. I might have to toggle that craft off and on. Let's see. There we go. It says it's missing ingredients. What ingredients could you possibly be missing? That's everything it needs. I don't know why it's saying missing ingredients. I think we had this problem once before. I'll have to look into that one, but these are things that I would really like to keep in stock. I will try to figure out why it's not working and let you know if I am able to figure that out. So semi requester only good for 5 items. It looks like each one's only good for 5 items, even though there's a slider, which kind of makes no sense. But we'll let it do its thing. And as you can see, we have already reached our 64 of the top tier, and now it's working on crafting up Imperium, and it will get us backfilled on all of those. And then once it does, I will craft the first Insanium essence, and I will change this out for Insanium. So where are we on the list? I know ME Requester was on here. ME Requester for in-stock items. We covered that. We did the Ender Chest for the mob farms. We tried to do the AOA dimension for the Baronite ore, but it is in development and we can't go get it. All right, so that leaves us with Danger, making polonium, and the digital miner. So making polonium is gonna take some time. We're gonna need space for it. We're gonna have to clear some stuff out, or maybe put it, do we have compact machines in here? Maybe put it in a compact machine dimension. I don't know what size compact machines. We've got the colossal. Let's see, looks like we've only got the colossal. Oh no, there's a bunch of different sizes. Okay, Saurian, colossal, giant. So it looks like we probably want to get into making a compact machine and putting our nuclear stuff in there. That way, if it blows up, we don't have corruption all over the entire base. It's just contained in the compact machine dimension. Now, digital miner. It is in the quest line. I was doing some work on getting stuff caught up. So on the power side of the quest line, I got all the Ender IO stuff caught up. I got a heat generator as a reward. We'd already gotten these other 2 as a reward. So the only things left in here are getting into big power from Powah, their reactors. And then on the storage quest line, we are down to literally just the quantum computer, but to make this quantum computer, we need polonium pellets. And we are going to need a ton more resources, and I think a great way to get that is by making a digital miner. So if we come look at mechanism, which is another quest line we're going to need to complete, which they want us to make an anti-protonic nucleosynthesizer, which takes 2 antimatter pellets, which means we are going to have to get into big mechanism reactors. Standing in our way is this wonderful block called the digital miner. The digital miner is exactly like it sounds. It's a machine that does the mining for you. In order to craft it up, let's go ahead and just start putting in some patterns for some of this stuff. I don't know whether we're going to need a lot of it, but it is a whole lot easier to have your system do all the micro crafts than to have to do them all yourself. So there is the digital miner pattern. We're missing recipes for the logistical sorter, and then, so now that we have that, we need a robot. And now that we have a robot, we need a personal barrel. And now we need an oak barrel. And now we need a pattern for slabs. And then if we put all this in, we might be able to just tell it to make us a digital miner. Let's see what happens. Digital miner, give me one. Would you look at that? Quite simply, we already had all the things in there. And we took a poor robot and we put him inside. Robots are fun. We got a box of storage parts. Dragon stars. Interesting. So an avoid upgrade, but digital miner. Here it is. What we can do with this thing is, let's say we come over here and we just slap this puppy down. Like right there. And then I need a flux point. How do I not have patterns in here for a flux point yet? Oh my goodness. Give this thing some power. Can go right there. Put it on the big woolly network. And we can tell it to bypass the limit. So now, if we go look in here, this thing is like idle but not ready. And if we click on this config button, we can set what we want it to do. So we want its minimum Y level to be where we are now, Y71. I mean, we can actually, I think, mine deeper than in here. So min Y level, what is it? Negative, what is the bottom? Negative 80, I guess. And maximum Y level, let's go see what the Y level is on the yard. Well, maybe not the yard. Let's see, home, yard. And then let's go see what the Y level is in the main cell block. So our Y level here is 209. So if we go to the mine and we tell it, just for safety, let's do only to like, I don't know, 100. We could go to the top of the mine, I guess, which is a shear stone though. So we would go to, how do we get there without climbing the stairs? We go to the main cell block and then we go this way to the shear stone. And then we can go to Wooly's mine. Okay. So the top of the mine, let's see, how far up does it go? Is at least like Y135. So then we can go back to Wooly's cell block. And then we can go, we should move our waystone over there, but it's fine. Then we can go in here. That room looks like fun. Okay, and now let's go back down to the mine. So what did we say? 136, I guess, is what we'll tell it. So config, digital miner, negative 80, check. And 136, check. And maximum block radius, I do believe, is 32 for these, because we can try like 64, but I don't think it goes that high. Yeah, 32. So right now, if we were to just go back and hit go, it's not got any filters, so it doesn't know what to mine. So we need to tell it what we want it to mine. So if we go hashtag star, right? That's going to mine everything. And now if we tell it, there are 277,000 blocks that it has the opportunity to mine. No silk touch, meaning that anything that it breaks, it is going to turn into cobble. And right now, it's using 1.1 KFE a tick. But there are things we can put in here. We can put in speed upgrades. We can put in energy upgrades. We can put in, we can turn on silk touch, which makes it use more power. We can tell it to auto eject items out the back. We can do all sorts of stuff. So if we were to grab out some chests, Let's see. We've got one netherite. We've got some gold. Let's grab a couple gold. And then if we were to look for stack upgrades, we've got some just tier 1s right here, but we can go to uses on them and upgrade these. Netherite blocks going. That ought to be more than enough. So what we can do now is we can come back here to the back, and if we were to just put a double chest right here, put in our stack upgrades, and we tell this thing to auto eject, it's going to spit everything it's mining out into this chest in the back. And with those stack upgrades, this should be more than enough to hold a ton. But this is slow, right? So if we go to mech speed, at mech speed, we will get the option to make the mechanism speed upgrade. I think we can make, is it 8 of each of these to go in here? So those speed, and then let's look at energy. Because energy makes it not cost us as much power. We need gold, which we can do. So let's go do gold. Now, the reason we want this isn't necessarily for mining here in this dimension. Some of the ores and stuff we're going to need to, like, you know, really get a bunch of are going to be other places. But I wanted to cover the digital miner because it would be a great way if you guys want to build down here. You could just move this thing around and clear your entire mine in a, you know, pretty quick order to, you know, be able to use the space down here. Now, what were we doing? Oh, we needed to teach our system how to make gold dust or grit or whatever it's called. This one. This will work. So gold grit can be made in the crusher, and we already have a crusher. So if we come over here and we go to the ultimate crushing factory and we put that in, now if we look up our energy upgrade, we should be able to control click it. And then I can control what wheel click. Let's see. Yep. We want gold dust. We should just make patterns for these grit. But I'm not going to make you guys watch that. I'm going to make like 30 gold grit real quick, which we should see come back into the system fairly quickly. There we go. And now energy upgrade. So let's make 8 more of those. And that should let us max out our digital miner. So now if we come look at upgrades, energy 8 of 8, speed 8 of 8, and what is our power at? Oh wow, 11.46 KFE a tick. So yeah, let's go take a look at how that's putting a hurting on our power, because I don't remember how much power we're making. And that may lead us into what we're going to do next time. So these are making how much a tick when they start getting drained down and you can see it? Wow. All right, here we go. Oh, these are making 7,500 FE a tick. So right now we are fully taxing one of them and a half. So yeah, we got plenty of power for what we're doing. But with the speed, let's look at how fast these resources are coming in. Now, I have not turned on Silk Touch, and there is a reason for that. Because if you watch the difference, so right now it's using 11.46. If I turn on Silk Touch, 137 KFE a tick. We are not making that kind of power yet, so that is why we are not Silk Touching things. But what we're going to let this do is, this is going to clear 32 blocks, or 32 around it of stuff. There's going to be a lot of resources in here when we come back. And that's probably going to be a thing for the next episode. I would like to start talking about Powah reactors. So I have some notes for the next episode in here. Oh my God, we forgot to hit done earlier. But we've got Powah reactors, extreme reactors, and soul stuff from Ender.io. Those are down here. They are right here. And then extreme reactors is right here. All of these are power upgrades for our base. The first of which being the Powah reactor. Now we are going to make patterns for these because you have to make like 30 of them. So if we go at Powah react, we will notice in the quest line, it wants us to start with starter tier and then move to basic. So let's make patterns for these pieces, because crafting 36 of each of these would kind of be a pain. Now, we are missing the uraninite. I don't even know if we have any in the system. But what we are going to do is we're going to go ahead and just stack in the patterns for each of the tiers so that when we get going, we can just, you know, craft our way through the quest line all the way up to the top tier reactors. Because it doesn't have a quest for each of these. It just has a quest for some of them. But, you know, we're going to try to see if we can get through it. But we need to look at uraninite. So, uraninite, do we have any? If not, where are we supposed to get it from? We have uranium, but what is my path for uraninite? Where am I supposed to get it from? Block of uraninite from Powah. I get it from raw uraninite, alloy smelting. There we go. We can energize uranium to turn it into uraninite. And is that our only source? It looks like there's ore, but I haven't seen any ore. And that could just be that we aren't looking in the right place. There should be some deep slate. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Uraninite. But we can definitely energize it. So let's make a pattern for that as well. And then here are our reactor patterns. Let's put them just in a molecular assembler. Now we probably ought to make a uranium seed, and then we can make a uraninite seed. So uranium seed, looks like it wants mechanism uranium, which we don't have. Is there even a recipe for it? Uranium seed, let's see. I wonder. We'll see if it's ore dictionary, because we've got uranium ingots, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it was what tier? Now that we have all that stuff, we need Imperium and Prosperity. Seed base. There we go. All right, so let's go try this. And if it doesn't work, then we're going to have to figure out what our path is to get the mechanism uranium so we can make a seed. Because, yeah. And I still haven't updated the server because I'm a bad, you know, server admin. Actually, I just really haven't had time. But yes, so that does not work. Now let's look at the uraninite seed. Uraninite from Powah Supremium. Okay, so if we make some uraninite, which we didn't put the pattern in for. But there we go. If we make some uraninite, can you make me 30? And then I have to add it to the filter, add uraninite, submit. There we go. And so now if we get 4 of them and some supremium in the seeds, SUP, 1, 2, 3, 4, then all the rest of that went into this bag. Cool. Now we should be able to make uraninite seeds so we can grow these and save ourselves on the little bit of uranium we have, which we can get from sieving. So we could probably set up something to make sure we have like a good steady supply of this. But good, great googly moogly. Okay, we need these 2. This goes there, and this goes here in the middle. All right, so we are going to wrap up on our uraninite seed. I'm going to go put it upstairs, and then we're going to talk about what is for the next time. Because, well, I said we were going to make the reactors. Okay, let's make the reactors, because then you guys can work on that yourselves in your worlds. All right, uraninite. So you can convert the uranium that we're getting from where? You can convert the uranium that you're getting uranium chunks from sieving crushed deep slate. So we may need to look into automating that if we can't find a way to get to the mechanism uranium. I need to look at the update notes and get the server updated, but we'll check in on that next time. Now, we should be able to go at Powah React, and we should be able to just start. So starter, we need 36. And these are kind of neat. We can put one together real quick. We'll just start with this basic tier. The way they work is actually kind of cool. You just put one of them down, and it does the rest with all 36. And then when you break it, you know, if you vein mine it, it gives you them all back. And this is a mechanism reactor. Or not a mechanism, a Powah reactor. It's going to take 3 things. It's going to take redstone. It's going to take coal. It's going to take 4 things. Sorry, uraninite in the middle. And then it needs some kind of coolant. Now, you can just pipe water in, but dry ice is a better coolant. And you can make dry ice on your energizing orb setup. So if we go look at dry ice, we should be able to make dry ice by taking blue ice and energizing it. And then if we would go to blue ice, we should be able to make our blue ice from packed ice, which can be made from ice essence. So we probably want to get a seed going for some ice. And there's a few different ways for us to go about getting ice. We can make snowballs. We can use a ring, which I don't think we have. We can go to the entropy manipulator from AE2, which we might be able to make. That'll convert water into ice. Actually, there should be a Dire Things recipe for ice too, right? Isn't that... can't we make it with the conversion? Oh, it looks like maybe not. Maybe that's just that other one. Cool. But we got a few ways. So we're going to need to get some ice going for dry ice for these reactors. But it's as simple as you don't even have to place them down each time. You just got to craft the 36 for each of the tiers. And I'm going to go through and craft all of that up. Oh, it wants us to make 3 dry ice. So we're going to have to make the dry ice for that tier. The rest of them don't have any extra requirements. So I'm going to go on through and wrap up all of these. And when we get to the top tier, if we look at these, they max extract 1 million FE a tick. They make 250 KFE a tick, 250,000 FE per tick when running. So if we look at the uses on that, solid coolants, your best coolant is dry ice, like we were talking about, and reactor fuels. The only one is uraninite, and we're going to run them on those. And when we run on those, we're going to get that maximum 250 KFE a tick of power gen out of them. And they stack real dense and real nice, just like our thermo generators. Although, you know, albeit they take up a little bit more vertical space, but when one of them is going to just dwarf what we're doing right here, it's very obviously worth the effort. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode. Thanks so much for watching. Hit the like button, ring the bell. You know, views are pretty steady. We're getting good traction on this series. It's not a big pack, you know, but it's something I'm having a lot of fun with. Hope you guys are too. And we'll see y'all next time.